this thing stops spinning. All right. So we're live, and I'm really excited to introduce my guest, Sekou Pyle.
Nice to meet you. What's up, everybody?
So why I'm excited to introduce, I've heard a lot about this guy, the myth, the legend, but I really don't know much about you. So I was wanting to hear a little bit about your story and how you got started in real estate.
Dude, I am a regular dude from the hood, right? You know, I grew up in Harlem, and everybody always talks about, you know, get real estate, get real estate, get real estate. When I was in my 20s, a million years ago, right? I had the opportunity to buy the apartment that I was renting, and I bought this apartment. It cost a ridiculously low amount, but it was one of those co-op condo conversions in New York that I don't know if in the Midwest you guys hear about this stuff, but everybody is terrified of converting to condos from a rental and, you know, this and that. But I bought my unit to drop my payment monthly, right? Well, maybe a few months later, I get this offer and I sell my unit for like a gazillion times more than what I bought it for, right? And so I got hooked. I got hooked on it, right? I come out to Jersey. It's around, I don't know, 9/11-ish, like that time. You know, I was still in New York at 9/11. After it happened, everybody did this exodus out of New York, and I just went across the water to New Jersey, and I started doing real estate, and I was terrible at it. I was terrible at it, right? I get in this office and I have, like, you know, remember, I have all of this money left over from, you know, this gajillion time sale, you know, back in the day, right? And so I had, you know, I had all the trappings, the cars, the suits, the, you know, this, that, the other thing. And I could not put a deal together to save my life, right? My first year in real estate, I made $10,000 from a transaction that I started. It was my condo that I bought, right? And I watched all the other people in my office doing deals and closing deals. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go another week without a check. And I made a decision that I was going to do whatever was necessary. And I started putting my nose down, and it was weird. It was a transition into understanding that I was running a business and not just working at a job. You know, I was one of those people that whatever job I worked at, I made it great. Like I improved wherever I was at, and they were giving me raises. And I was like I had like the star on my chest, gold star for say, you know. The opposite happened in real estate. I was doing terrible. I was tanking. I was the worst performer in the office. What? My ego. I took some coaching. I was with the Mike Ferry coaching and all of this and that. And it wasn't like a Cinderella story, right? It wasn't like overnight it changed and things like that. But what I did do was I put my nose to the grindstone. I decided to work as hard for myself as I did for other folks. And I went through an independent brokerage. I went through some of the bigger brokerages, and wound up in this space where I was teaching and training other agents how to do the job. I was taking all of the skills that I had learned over the years and implementing it. And brother, when I tell you right now, I'm one of those people that if you ask me about business, I say it's great all the time. I run a small team of about maybe 30 agents or so with the DeVoe Group, right? My partner in crime. And we're doing over 300 transactions a year. And, you know, it's all of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the big numbers. Yeah, and it's all based on being in that office, watching other people getting checks and me going, no, this is not going to work for me, man. It's not computing.
So you started at a large independent.
Yep.
And then you went to Keller Williams?
Yes, sir. Yep. I started it locally. I don't know if I don't know if I say names or whatever. I started at the largest of the independent companies over here in Hudson County. Outrageously successful company. I did their trainings, I did their coaching, and a lot of their recruiting. About 300 or so agents total in the office. As an independent, that was huge at the time. The second largest one was like 22 agents. You know what I mean? Like it was night and day. We were competing with the big box agencies. Let me say it like that. And if you Googled at the time, Hoboken rental or Hoboken real estate, we would pop up number 1 or 2 in the site in whatever search bar. Well, you get to this point, right? As an African American, as a business owner, you get to this point where you pivot from just being the best agent to growth, right? And where do we grow from here, and where do we grow from there? And I reached a ceiling at the independent based on just the independence reach, right? It's like the limitations of an independent organization. I was thinking big box. I was thinking the big room, and the independent had given me all the room that they could give me, right? And so with love and respect, I parted ways with them. I actually reluctantly went to KW, right? Because I didn't like the ideas that they had. However, like coming from the independent, there was all of this idea, there's all of this, moxie around, we're big, but we did it without all of that.
Yeah.
And what attracted me originally to KW was like this idea that I could grow my business, right? They were talking about how we be in partnership and profit share and this and that. And to their credit, man, DeVoe and I grew the DeVoe group like a business, right? We grew it using the expansion, and it was good, except, right? And I mean, right, I'm not going to go too far ahead, right? But it was good, except the sound and the visual didn't really link up the way it was. It was like one of those old kung fu movies, where the dialogue is off.
So you were Bruce Lee at Keller Williams, and obviously very successful, doing great, and you decided to make a move to eXp. Yeah. So all this success, you're doing great. Why would you move? I mean, great company. eXp is Keller Williams is a great company.
Yeah. But if I can be a little transparent and a little vulnerable for a minute, I'll say it like this, right? My ambition was to grow a business, right? DeVoe and I were growing a business. We started doing the expansion system to grow a business. The way that it was touted was that you could be an intrapreneur inside of the entrepreneur, right? It was like, right. And there was a focus in the language. There was a focus on partnership. There was a focus on how we work together in order to grow. And in reality, although the greatest idea and maybe even the greatest intention, it just didn't work like that. The way that the industry is designed inside of those brick and mortar, inside of those sort of top down, tiered perspectives, it's still look out for myself. And if I have something left over, then I can look out for you. And the way that the DeVoe group was designed is a round table. It is not look out for myself and then look out for other folks. It's like a web. How do we work out together? And we were very vocal about it. I honestly, Rodney, they kept asking me to be a part of the ALC, right? And I was resistant because I don't want to be a part. I don't want any more extra responsibility.
Yeah.
And I was already doing the trainings for a lot of the market centers we were in. As a part of expansion, you're in multiple market centers, right? And so in those market centers, I was doing a lot of the training, a lot of the extra recruiting, using that as a magnet. I'm sorry, they don't recruit, right? Right. But when I finally gave in to be a part of the ALC, they took me to ALC Academy or whatever the workshop is to be a part of the ALC. And they showed me what it was supposed to be and the way that it was supposed to work and what the team leader's job is, what the ALC's job is, and why we would be training and coaching. And I was like, wait, hold up. That's not what's happening anywhere that I'm at. And I'm like, I wonder if you actually did what you said you would do, this would be an awesome, awesome, awesome system. But it's working in reverse. And I got to say, you're not looking out for the little guy. All you keep doing is looking out for the big guy. And that doesn't match up. And so without breaking any NDAs, right?
Right.
It didn't match up with our culture. We come and we start interviewing different companies. We interviewed at Compass. We interviewed this way and that way. It was at eXp. Actually, it was at like a dinner, like honoring eXp or agents, that my sponsor and their downline put together. DeVoe and I are at the table, like taking notes, like, oh yeah, we could do this. Like we're like sneaking it. And, Dan and Tina would just reach over and grab our pencil and be like, no, you misspelled this. And like, they were just giving so freely. These folks that are doing 500, 700, 800 transactions a year, it's just giving us the information on how to get there. I was sold, man. And then, anyway, I'll let you ask the questions, but I can get so excited about this. It's ridiculous.
Well, and I know what a difference the revenue share and the profit share, well, not profit share, that's what KW has.
Right.
The stocks have done for us compared to profit share, where in KW, where you had to, where you got some if the office was profitable, maybe. So what difference did this make for you? And what difference has eXp made in your life now? Because I know you do a lot of coaching and training now. And
I do it for free.
Right. And building up. Exactly. And I heard your training's pretty tough.
Yeah, no, I'm an ogre when it comes down to my training. Well, the difference, dude, I mean, I know you've heard it all before. I know the folks out there have heard it all before and things like that. I'm going to say this before I get into that, right? I'm going to say this. I made a huge mistake when I was moving over to eXp, right? I made a huge mistake. My mistake was that I thought it was just going to be slightly better than the system I had before, right? Like, rev share over profit share, such and such over this. And, I get stocks here. Okay, great. That's going to be cute. It'll be a bonus, right? And then I start applying this stuff and I start seeing this stuff in application. Holy crap. I was so wrong. It is not a better version of before. It is not a better version of something that's there. This is equity. It is true, honest to goodness partnership with an organization. It is the ability to move my business in the direction that I want to move my businesses and not the way that I have to move my direction, right? So I can offer coaching to agents that want to grow. I don't have to hide anything. I don't have to say, okay, well, if I give them this, then it's going to be less for me. It's paying forward the exact way it was done for me. And if I can be completely transparent, right? Last year, my rev share paid my mortgage. It paid my mortgage. It paid the last year my kids' tuition. It paid medical stuff. We had some real serious medical stuff come up, right? I had COVID in February last year in February. Like little things like that, or rather big things like that, I can rely on my rev share. I can rely on my stocks as a revenue stream, as an honest to goodness part of my, I make a crap ton of money doing it. Yeah. Right. And so when people ask me from the big box organizations, when people ask me from my old independent, what do I get? Well, what's the big deal? What do I get for being at eXp? And everybody thinks that I'm talking about rev share. Or I'm talking about this and that and the other thing. I tell them all the time, I get equity here, man. I am a member of the organization. And that I contribute to the organization gets paid back to me in equity, and it feels good. So I don't mind coaching an agent in Illinois. I don't mind coaching an agent in Katy, Texas. I don't mind coaching an agent down in Florida or wherever, because the company gets better when they do better, and my equity just grows.
Right. Stop, everything.
Everything.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I get so excited and tell people about it, but I mean, you explain it so well. I love your energy. I love what you're doing to help other people out. Everyone, this is Sekou.
What's up, everybody?
You got a lot going on. So I'm gonna let you go, but I just want to tell you I appreciate you coming on and doing this interview. I think you're going to help a lot of people out. Your growth, your direction's straight upward. And I appreciate you coming on and sharing your views with us.
I really appreciate you having me on. And what I would hope, and this is in closing, I guess I would say, what I would hope is that anyone that you're talking to, anyone out there that can hear your voice that you're speaking to, challenge you with questions. I would assume that anybody talking to you is serious about growth, is serious about their business, and has some really, really powerful questions for you instead of the old rhetoric that is present in the universe. Come up with some new ideas and some new questions and get in on the ground floor of something that is truly powerful. So that's what I have to say, man. Rodney, it was a pleasure, brother. I gotta be honest.
I look forward to talking to you in the future too. This is my new friend, Sekou. So I feel like I've known you forever, man. You're so easy to talk to. So
dude, thank you.
I know you're going to do great things for everyone that's working with you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, man.
Thanks.